this. Yes, this should be the start of the live stream. Making sure the audio is off. Hello everyone watching a bit later. I know there may be there may actually be more people watching this later, not live, than watch it live. So hello. I'm sort of going to give a few moments here for some of the live viewer types to show up as well. If you don't know already, this I do Saturday mornings my time out in California here, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard, or if it's daylight savings time, then any particular time. And hello, Arno. I don't know that anyone's here yet other than you. Very good to have you here. Very, very good. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard or daylight savings time, if that's when I start normally. Oh, and ToyJet is there too. Cool. So you can join me then. Yeah, 3 to 4 hours is the normal length to the live stream. So if you're not immediately available, you guys can always show up. Hello, underlings. Thanks for the hosting. Okay, we're going to be starting over after last week's challenging but informative start, I think. And I still need we haven't had any like merchants to deploy. We've only used sort of building a spy network to do what do you call it, fabricate a claim. So I don't know other good uses for it. I guess you can maybe sponsor rebellions locally in other countries. So all kinds of help. Also, another area of help that I will be needing, you just haven't really had, is what ideas are good to get, when, that type of thing. So who will you play this time? Well, we're still playing as England. Himself, okay. Yeah, I think wrong genre. So I think the meds are kicking in on Arno. So yeah, no, we're playing as England. I am sure someday we will be playing something other than because we'll call it other than an Anglo-Celtic type nation. But for now, we are looking at this. So yes, okay. Now I want to make sure here. Yeah, we're waiting. Just did this go properly? No one said anything yet on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like it's going there. Right. Okay. So we're gonna need to start over again here. I'm trying to think how I want to start this. Okay. Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and we're going to be playing some more EU4. Now, if you've watched some the earlier stuff, that was a really bad abortive start, with, I think, mostly really good advice given by the chat, but it was, yeah, a bit of a car crash. And I'm just getting a question here or in chat from my good friend ToyJet. Why not try Ottomans or Castile? They are somewhat easier. Okay, yes. At this stage in my reintroducing myself to EU, because again, for those of you who haven't watched a bunch of stuff on this already, because it was a restart, I used to play a lot of EU and EU2 but that was way back when they're current, and I have not really touched EU 3 or 4, so it's a bit of a relearning. Okay, I'm very willing to experiment with other nations, but I guess my first love, my first interest with some of these are nations that I emotionally attached to. I'm not emotionally attached to the Ottoman Empire. If anything, I'm an anti-Ottoman. That doesn't mean I'm anti-Turk. There's a difference. And a pro-Byzantine or pro-Western, which are actually somewhat two different things, viewpoint here. So Ottomans are not terribly likely. Castile, that could be a possibility, or a closer possibility. And so I'm definitely, that would be a real possibility. And so I'm far from saying, oh, I'll never play the Ming, or I'll play the Ottomans, but it's not my first love or big interest. It's more like, well, I've done everything else, or done England, as a real, not just an abbreviated game, but real long game 5 times now, and done France twice, and done all these other things. Okay, well, now it's time to try the Ottomans or something like that. And yeah, okay, go for Poland. Yes, go for Poland. Go for that type of thing. So there's an emotional tie for me. Play as a Dutch and make the game great again. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. So let's pick the country here. Oh, and I probably should have even been saying this sooner up front. And because of that, I'm going to restart this. So you guys get to go through the intro again here. Got to say this up front. Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing restart, whatever you want to call it, of Europa Universalis 4, EU4. Now, I was a big player way back when it was EU and then EU2. Haven't really played much since then, literally, of 3 or 4. So this is just now restarting, relearning of the game, if you will. So, and to that point, I've had a lot of people, including like Toyjet, who's in the audience right now, and I think maybe a bit from Arno, but definitely a lot of people going way back when I started the YouTube channel. Why don't you play EU4? Why don't you play EU4? Why don't you play EU4? And one of my main reasons, there's several, but one of them, I always thought that there was a lot of people in that space, and there still are, of course, playing EU. And I just didn't know that compete might not be the right term, but get a big enough audience, because it isn't necessarily me or somebody else watching, but how much watching. And that's the point of this talk at the start. Moderately okay viewing numbers during the live streams. Just for you to know, I do strategy live streams Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, starting for 3 and then going for 3 or 4 hours, depending on things. Sundays are first-person type shooter, tank driving days. And so, yeah, you're getting some of the chat there. So if you want to join me live, but also the viewing numbers. Now, I know some of the people viewed, but it's less than 10%. Well, it was like 5% that I looked at the stats that got through to the end of the sort of live big chunk version that this will be up on versus the specific episodes. And the viewing numbers have been really poor on for the EU4. Now, it was really sort of an aborted video, but I mean even initial clicks. So I would really love to play this game for you guys. I've actually been playing it since last week, just some on my own for fun. I can play this for myself for fun. So I really need help spreading the word about this, and I need your help in watching these episodes, because if you're all, hey, yeah, I want to see you play that, and then, well, I don't have time right now, I will catch it sometime, maybe later, whatever, and I just sort of want to check in once in a while to maybe see how the game goes, well, that ain't going to cut it. I can't have a game that I spend a lot of time on, put a slot up on my channel that just doesn't do well. So I need people watching this. So what can you do? Share this. I'm supposed to, if I'm promoting my video like this, go to a particular, the after action report forum on someplace like Paradox, but some viewer can, if they so choose, recommend on the Paradox forum a video and link to something like this, or go recommend it over on Steam, or some links in various places, various forums. So if you want to see this series happen, really see this series happen, I need your help in getting the word out. So, and I'm talking to everybody, not just maybe the few people that are like moderators here, but others. So need to have a bigger mass view. And so we're going to be playing, and I was asked, why don't I play the Ottomans or Castile, by my good friend Toyjet here. And I know I actually did a previous start, so he's already heard the answer, but this is for you guys. If I like to have an emotional attachment to the nations that I play. Now, once I played, played England 4 or 5 times, played France, played Scotland, played this, played that, then yeah, other nations like Ottomans, like maybe the Chinese, something like that will come into play. So we're going to play, though, currently here as selected as England. Yes, England. Let's start, and we're going to play. No, we're not doing Iron Man mode. Okay, we've sort of done a lot of this. So, okay. Now, any help in the chat is appreciated, or as well as later you can post down below. I can still learn. Just because I make a stupid mistake, I may have to live with it on this playthrough, but we can learn for future games. Okay, let's see who we might get as. I think Denmark. They don't like me as a rival. Burgundy. We may do France. Anyways, we'll think about that for the moment. We can get some advisors here. Let's look at this. Probably some of these cheaper ones, not the 4. National unrest down. No, we don't need missionary strength right now, so we'll go with him. That's a really cheap one, half. Okay, improved relations, morale of navies. Well, I don't think, at least in my early playthroughs, navies have been much of a thing, so improved relations will probably be slightly better benefit. I know I can leave them open for the time being, or dismiss them to hopefully a better role, but that does cost a little bit of money. Morale of armies, reinforcement speed. Maybe if... hello, Nickel Liquor. Interesting name. Not hungry today? Well, I was hungry, but I ate. No, we're going to be playing as England today. I don't know. Anybody has strong opinions? I sort of think, well, I don't know, reinforcement speed. That isn't getting the reinforcement, but it'll give you some time. We can come back to that to spout off in chat. Okay. We need some more seats in Parliament, so... They probably... Okay, we can go with, well, Coventry, I guess, would be a fine. Can we just send Parliament to Coventry? Does York have a seat? No, we'll give York a seat. I think that should get us enough seats in Parliament here. So yeah, I'm not normally that funny. That was just something that did work well. You set that up. Oh, we just did that. Okay. Well, we need to start a debate in Parliament as well. Gain sailors. Don't really need a sailors. We're not building much of a navy yet. Gain general with 40 tradition. Leaders upkeep. That looks like a good possibility. Advisor cost down. That's an all right thing. Okay. Cultural conversion. We're not doing any of that. So we're going to select expand officers list. Okay, now. Okay, we have very little, but maybe enough. Grant Navy commissions. Military power. Support. Administrative support. Percent no, we don't want to get rid of that. I guess we're going to go with that. There we go. So, we're not going to really build anything at this moment. We have a looming disaster. We don't get an heir. And on that note, let's start looking at things diplomatically. One nation I want to see if we can get a military alliance with is, no, Venice not at this time. I don't know why not. Often they are really early. I think we're also going to get Castile here. I think ultimately we may end up butting heads with Castile over expansion into the New World in places. But for now, having a fairly powerful counterbalance to France would be useful. So I think we're going to go with that. Now, does that at all change what? Oh, well, we've already sent out. I guess at least one of our people here send another offer. So we've got to go another day. And no real thoughts between these two advisors. I think we'll go with morale of armies up. Now, it's goes without saying that chat is always bloodthirsty. And in the advice, I said mostly earlier that they gave me good advice, but they were a bit, how do I put this, a bit bloodthirsty with some of their wars and got me, you know, expanding my army right away and other things like that. And I don't think we're going to do that. But I did like their sort of strategy for going after Ireland. So we're going to covert actions here, build up a spy network, and we're going to try here. I don't know if we can get this before Ulster, before the Scots do. So we're going to come into Tyrone here and build a spy network to try to cut them off from expanding into there. I think that is going to be our I'm not planning the Low Countries. That doesn't mean they won't happen, but I am hoping to get Ireland. There is a I'm still not familiar with getting around all of this here. Yeah, here one of the, well, there's take Gibraltar, but English Empire War, the Roses, one to, I think, get conquer Ireland, yeah, conquer Scotland. So some of these goals here we may be looking at trying to do eventually. And as a strategic sense position, getting all of the British Isles is immensely important just on a strategical front. And so, okay, does anybody know what happens if I don't have, if I have too few rivals? Toy Jet, Arno, anybody who's been playing this? I guess I could go Scotland. I don't know if I want to specifically set up as France as a, hey, let's, you know, let's go to war with them. Well, we'll let this hang for a day or two. Maybe I'll get some help from some of those people. Okay, so we'll start this out sort of slowly. They've accepted entering into the alliance. Let's see if that changes. If we look more. No. Why won't they want to come into an alliance with us? I want Venice. Okay, it says right there when I'm hungry. You need at least not to have a penalty to your power projection score. Okay. Power projection, not enough rivals. Okay. So, okay, has time rivals +1, not enough to... okay. Thank you, Toyjet. Might help if I do these kind of things. I think we're just going to let this go for the moment. Because not that power projection isn't useful, but I don't know exactly what it's used for. And it does seem like I will be on, because 4th rank great power is +18. Those long-term rivals. It looks like we sort of outbalanced by having some of those. Now, let's see if we can get a Portuguese wife. Dynastic actions. Royal marriage. Okay, we got a queen consort, Louisa. Fair. Inequalities. You want the power projection up. Okay. Well, then I guess we will go with, yes, with Scotland because, when is it? Here. Okay. Oh, well now, see here, we have more options now. We go with Provence way down here. We can go with Morocco, the Ottomans. I guess we're more powerful than Morocco, so we'll go with Morocco. Okay, so yeah, Morocco. Not terribly powerful, not a Christian nation. So we don't have to worry about all of that. Surrender of Marne, yes, must honor our obligations. We're going to do this. We're not going for any major wars. Now, we don't like that, but I don't think I have anywhere near enough administrative power to boost that back up. I do sort of want to get rid of Henry as our monarch. No, we don't want to get you. No, no thank you. Dismiss. Decline. Mission fulfilled. Okay. Do we like get anything for completing these missions? Like a bonus to anything? Okay, claim gains permanent claim on Ile-de-France area. Okay, I guess that. Okay, of course. There we go. So we have claims there. Casus belli. Okay. Oh, and we want to military. See, I am learning all this stuff. Put our forts in mothballs. Oh, excuse me. Now we have very low prestige and negative levels of stability. Not the best thing. Let's move. Well, let's go with our bigger army here, and let's assign our one Richard Plantagenet here. Let's assign this navy to protect trade. Now I've looked at this here and we can see this one here. If we did this, it would actually end up costing us, so that wouldn't help us. Lubick probably, that would be a profit of 0.49 over our cost of doing so. That'd be a loss, that'd be a loss. So we're gonna send them our small fleet to protect that trade, and our other fleet over to the Irish Sea, because right now we're mostly concerned with the Irish Sea. Okay, London now has a seat of a new cardinal. We have now 2 cardinals. I have some vague idea how that helps us, but not a great one. I don't know how much, or if we have a really good chance of naming the Pope and how much that would help us, but not that it wouldn't help us, but I don't know. Well, let's speed this up a little bit. And let's continue to try to build our relationship up with Castile, make them like us a little more. And, oh, well, they just offered the same thing, so yeah. Okay, we'll accept that. No, decline that. Can you have more than one royal marriage? I don't know. Yes. Go over to the Pale. You come up as possible reinforcements. Okay. What have you done in the way of alliances? Okay, so we would be going against several enemies. Right, well. Let's recruit a few regiments. We're not going to overdo it though. We just don't have much in the way of manpower stacked up. Okay, how are we doing on our building of a spy network? Oh, I thought we already had this going? Thought I had that going. Okay, well, guess I didn't. Now, Venice, possibly. We still have a diplomat. Offer alliance, no. Naples? No. Byzantium, that's not really a doable thing. Naval doctrine. Yeah, we don't want to spend all that money right now. Okay, well, small armies to here because we want to set up a second smaller corps. Or a third smaller corps, actually, but second over here. Maybe throw on one more. We actually should have, yes, okay. Building spy network, okay, we're at 14. Are they yet aligned with anybody powerful? No. Just a couple of other local ones that we can probably, even I can probably handle that. Hey, IKB! We're going to try to build the Great British Empire. Okay, stop the heretics is what I guess we'll do, because otherwise it's a little too early to start embracing a Protestant type viewpoint. We don't quite want to become the pariah of nations just yet. Okay, yes, we can do this. So we're going to stop building the spy network, confirm. We're going to send these guys over to here. And did we actually hit fabricate claims? We're going to, yes. Okay, well, that will allow us to declare war. No, we're not bringing in, looks like he may only get one, which is this guy over here. Ally. Might as well push now. Okay, don't know that we see. Okay, you have uncontested claims that will expire. Right. Truth with France will expire. World War. Provincial unrest, yes. Ability is low. Okay, well you come over to here. Foreign military expert. Pause. Gain 100 military tradition. Put him in command of armies. Gain a general with. Well, chat. What do you think's more useful? Gain 100 tradition and military. Presume that that's what that means, military power. But I'm not absolutely sure. It's a different name. Or gain a general with 50 tradition. I don't know, again, if that's the same type of thing. We don't need foreign aid. Gain 5 legitimacy. Well, we have 94 legitimacy, so I don't think we need legitimacy. Yes, I'm trying to get chat to be involved here, but maybe they're all off doing something else. Well, the viewer out on YouTube or any ask them to train our officers. Put them. Well, I guess we'll go with that because we can afford that. And so does that give us another general? Okay. Ooh, a fairly good one it looks like. Boost stability. Okay. Yes, we need to boost stability. We are not yet to the which again I'm still learning my way around this. Oh, stability. Yeah, we're not yet ready to have enough to do that. They still do the thing where the state of the siege is shown in the state of the picture, I guess. That goes all the way back to EU1. Yeah, okay, because that's on fire, that isn't there. Okay. Oh, I don't know, let's speed this up a little bit. Positive territory, okay, yeah, it's really starting to burn down now. That has breaches in the walls. Okay, we'll give that to Brittany. Now, let's, oh, Brittany's at war with the French. Well, we don't like the French so much, so what we want to do is, while they are still in existence, let's send a gift. Maybe a waste, but let's see what we can do. Whether that's enough to buy some mercenaries or... Okay, Mary. Well, Mary looks like a reasonable leader. Very good. We'll call her Mary. Okay, York changes. Great. Okay. I'm mentioning, okay, they're now backing. Okay, so looks like we're going to win that debate. And hello, James. Nope, we started again, and we haven't taken over the world. No royal marriages with Irish leaders unless they are our subjects, vassals, I guess I should say. Okay, we won that siege. Let's go over and see if we can speed that siege up a little bit. Maybe that's too large of an army in one area. Siege is 1. Siege is 0, so we'll leave him there, so we'll move the other one back up because I think we're overstacked a bit too much. Okay, there we go. Now, so we want to grab this. Sue for peace. Get as much of the money as we can. And get that. Okay. Now, here we want to sue for peace. We want to grab as much money as we can. And to keep us from having English vassal. Okay, we'll become a vassal of England, right? Okay, now we want to come here, manage our vassal by granting Donegal to them. Okay, will you come back to here? So peace reigns again now in the kingdom. And now we can boost our stability back. Just level 0. Okay, wave of obscurantism, national unrest, knowledge is power. As a typical response to different kinds of problems, obscurantism is frequent behavior in most nations until the Age of Enlightenment arose in most advanced Western nations. National unrest plus 2 loose prestige. Well, we don't really have much. Well, I think we'll take the unrest. May not be the best thing, but yeah, we thought the Scots were going to come here. Military access declined. Military access declined. Uh-oh. Badgers are undermining the tracks. That could be bad. Especially if there's a train going across them really fast. My grandfathers used to have problems with squirrels and rabbits making burrows and dams that if you get too deep, of course, the water would come through them. There was that problem. Obviously, a slightly different problem there with tracks, but yeah. Okay, looks like we get rebel uprising heretics. So we're going to come over here. Okay, not too many troops. Okay. Let's move you to there. That will reduce some of the revolt risk. Still want to get an alliance with they in a war or something now? Okay, now they're allied with France. They weren't earlier, but bummer. And yeah, Brittany's gone. Probably 100 gold didn't help them much, but there's somebody else you think would be a good idea to align with, like Austria? Is Austria a good ally at this point, or? The train's down for now. Gotta get the Badgers out of there. There are legal processes to be followed to get the Badgers relocated. Yeah, I can imagine pain in the butt. They're damming up rivers and things. Hey, Niagara, how you doing? Oh, man. See, in America, well, we just shot the damn squirrels and rabbits. Gotta relocate the badgers? Oh my god. Now, if they're like an endangered species or something, yeah, I don't want to have an endangered species, you know, even more endangered. So yeah, but I don't think badgers are an endangered species, but maybe they are in England. Oh god, just shoot the damn things, poison the damn things. I don't know, because let's see. Well, we're gonna do a lot of paperwork to to try to relocate the Badger. Well, in the meantime, we may have a few train derailments and a bunch of people killed, but that's all right. Very good. The aggro, very good. Yeah, that's just, you know, again, something that's like a true endangered species. I'm not arguing against the idea of that. You know, if we had, I don't know, in America, which it is, or at least had been an endangered species, the bald eagle. How did we get a new rival of Scotland? I don't know. No, I guess. Portugal declared war on their new enemy, Grenada. How interesting. Are they trying to... Okay. Okay, well, we might have made a mistake by having troops in there. Looks like we did. Let's combine these two armies. Good, he's now a hardy warrior. Okay, okay, so, no, Constantinople hasn't fallen yet. I would have thought that would have been required for Renaissance countries that have not yet fully embraced. Is there a way for us to embrace the Renaissance? Anybody out there know? Yes, we restarted since last time because that was a mess. Yeah, there may be other ways to make the Badgers go away, but that just seems ridiculous. It seems like a 10 or 12 hour task at worst to get them out of wherever and just be done with it. Decline. I don't know that I want to do that. Okay. Now, we don't have much, but let's... Diplomacy, they're at war with these guys. Okay, well... Okay, we have a network. Ooh. Okay. Okay, we can't. Okay, gotta be next to them, I guess. So, this is something that I was running into in one of my games. So you have to be next to somebody to be able to fabricate a claim? Next territorial proximity here? Is that a requirement, and will that be a problem with spreading our... You can set your states to spread more. Pump mana into London so you get it faster. Yay. Okay. Now, I think I understand what you were saying, is in the words you were using, you know what they mean. But how do I pump more mana into London? And I get the idea of mana, but what ones of these manas are we talking about? Or something, and how do we put it into London? And yes, I mean specific direction. Spend diplomatic power to improve base production. Okay, is this something here we want to do? Administrative power improves tax base by 1 monthly. Okay. Yeah, I know. What buttons to press. But I don't want to, I really want to sort of communally with all you guys and not just. But see, I'm much better this week than I was last week. Those, yes. All of them, a particular one. That's it. Okay. Nagaro says on there. Try to set it AI to 10. Okay, so administrative. Renaissance. Okay, Renaissance. So I can go to 9. I can go to 10. There we go. There we go. Sickness of the king. More power to the nobles. Tax down or monthly. Does anybody have a strong opinion on whether we want to lose money, which I don't like the idea of, or is too much autonomy for the regions going to hit me as a problem? The claim on the land. Yeah, it says here okay, we can stop building. This, yeah, confirm. But we don't have, I guess, has no possible neighboring province to fabricate a claim on. Okay, so we need to, I guess, come over here and build the spy network here. And mainly what we're doing is justifying a war more so than worrying about whether we can take province after we win the war. Okay, I'm going to get more loyalty for my burgers, I guess. I think we'll keep, hopefully. That way we can use around. Okay. Families left behind recent war took a toll on our people. Many were called, few returned. I thought we had pretty good. Now, we're down. Okay, from the Peasants' War. Yeah, that was sort of painful. The families of the nobles and commoners alike toil away. Let's see. Manpower modifier decrease in drafting. Well, we need the manpower. We don't want to do this. So we're going to do the national tax. Good thing they let the burgers. Okay, so we got military leaders improved there. Let's slow this down a little bit. Okay, Burgundy declared war on Provence. Lovely. Yeah, start a rumor to start a war, James. they involved in any of those wars? No. Let's sort of improve. I guess we'll do a royal marriage with them. Improve things a little bit. Yeah, don't know if you can have 2 of them, but we'll accept that. Okay, currently, yes, we can fabricate a claim. So, and these guys, do they have any allies to speak of currently? Okay, Desmond. Which one is Desmond? Desmond's down here in Cork. I wish they had names that were a little more similar. Okay, let's save this. One. And when we come back next time, next episode, live stream's still going to keep going. No need to go anywhere. Next episode, we will come back and have another Irish war in the tradition of England at the time. So thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, of course. And love to hear your comments, questions, tips, especially tips. See you next time for more historical gaming. Okay. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We should start fabricating claims of their own. Okay, that'd be an idea. That's good. Yeah, a lot of micromanaging in it, which I like. I like the idea of burrowing into it. The one thing that I don't see that has changed from the first 2 versions of the game is, and then this may be just something because I haven't played this enough, but is the lack of shall we say spontaneous developments. I know there's the events that are happening and those are cool, but I'm talking, which could be sort of like one of those, but because I have played to where, I could build markets, it's always been the royal or the central government deciding all of that. No one else is attempting to do that, and I just wonder, because it just seems like such a zero-sum game, and it's not the way things were back then. So, or now, governments did do a lot of stuff. Governments did develop a lot of things, but so did, whether it's the burghers, the boroughs, had to basically be licensed. Yeah, we're about ready to go to war. We should have decommissioned the castles. I keep forgetting that, since we're going to probably need to use him too. So let's come up here. What may I ask for? Diplomacy. Is there a downside to asking for military access and then later go to war? Okay, well, I don't know if we need to do a gamey possibility right now, but okay, well, we're gonna start another episode, but if you want to think about, if any of you know of a negative, like if I ask for access and then later go to war. Yeah, well, on a way, I don't know that I have the well, see, I don't even have the manpower to hardly do this. It's sort of timely, and we're going to push on it because they're at war, and we're going to take them down. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's start another episode. Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my playthrough of EU4 as England. Now, before I get going again, I'm going to again push out to all of you that I really want to play this game for you, because I can go and play it on my own, and I actually have been a bit now that I sort of started on this. But I really want to play it for you. But viewership of the stuff, and I could go into some of the details, but has not been good. Now, since I first started the channel, why don't you play EU? 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 Now, there's a bunch of reasons why I didn't. One of the big ones is I was doing Hearts of Iron 3 at the time, and I felt the sort of space of EU was with a lot of people playing it. A lot of big people, a lot of good people, small creators playing it. So a lot of that doing, and I was doing fairly well with Black Ice. And so I didn't. But now is the time that if you want to see this, I need you to help spread the word. Not just liking the videos and subscribing. That's, of course, got to be a given right now. But go maybe, I don't know, a Paradox forum and recommend one of the videos up and link there. Because I'm not supposed to, but you can if you think it's worth recommending. Or on Steam, make a post about it, or on Twitter or some other social media site. Or if you actually know people in real life who might want to watch this, you can invite them over and say we're going to watch this together, and torture them with this. So just left missions to find out what is needed. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting ready to invade Offaly here. Let's come to... They're pressing me to try to declare, get cores on all of Ireland and just go to war. Well, fighting the Law Lords killed most of my extra manpower. So we really can't, I think, do that well. We're going to fabricate claims on this. And actually, I think we're going to need to keep this province for a while. Maybe... Oh shit, we're at war. Before we go, let's maybe... Ecotypes in England have a real soft spot for badgers. For some reason, the farmers are worried that the badgers will bred bovine. Yeah, okay. To the cattle, just let's say that most roadkill badgers have a very high lead content. I get you there, IKB. Yeah, I'm all for animal management. And so, and I mean that on basically every functional level, animal management. And so, if you have an excess of a particular species that's causing a problem, well, then maybe you should just get rid of that. I think we're at war with these guys. So let's see about if we can come down here and land from the sea without too much of a hassle. Okay, that looks good. Are we at war with these guys? No. Okay. Go ashore. Looks like you're going to have no initial opposition. Okay, so they grabbed here too. Oh, wow, how interesting. Okay, my Irish allies are getting after besieging that. Hello, Anorak Ace. Yeah. Yeah, for looking about, yeah. But when they start becoming offensive, then we have to do something about it. And if any of you haven't already, please follow the channel on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. Thanks very much, James. I really appreciate that. Channel growth is the big thing I'm after. I don't know if that'll ever not be a big thing to me, but and thank you. Okay, architectural development. Probably will do this. Okay, lose prestige. Our nation is currently undergoing substantial development in architecture, numerous monumental buildings, architectural wonders, and other constructions. Okay, well, we could use all those things. Diplomatic, military, and administrative power. So, yay! And we'll pay the money. We can do that. We're England. We're the nation of shopkeepers. Oh, looks like they decided to come after us. Okay, they got slaughtered. They surrendered. Now we have to sort of kind of wait to get these guys to, or the war becomes something of a... Well, getting a couple of provinces isn't a bad thing. With limited costs, we're still down in manpower, but... Badger culling in the United Kingdom. Okay, thank you for the link there, IKB. Well, I don't know if that's quite the reason why. Decline. God made booze, but... Oh, good. How do I put this? Well, longtime viewers will know I'm a culturalist. Individuals are individuals, but I look at large groups of people in terms of culture. I don't look at them in terms of race. And again, I'll say sometimes race and culture often correlate to each other, meaning, let's use an example of Japan. Most all true Japanese cultural people are also racially Japanese. We can talk about a few ethnic minorities there, but they're really all Japanese, and we're not. And the Japanese Americans are culturally very different than true Japanese, so they're not this. So I'm a culturalist, not a racist. And so I look at the Celtic cultures, and it's not because I'm one of them I can criticize them. No, well, I very much, as you probably get from my avatar type things, yes, I very much identify with some of my Celtic heritage. But the Celts were never, what one time briefly do we have a real sort of central pseudo leader of the Celtic world? Can anybody name him? Yes, a him. Not just a Celtic leader, but sort of a, not completely unifying, but big sort of unifying. What Celtic leader can, what one Celtic leader, and if you can come up with two, I will be shocked and amazed. But what one Celtic, big sort of pan-Celtic leader can anyone name? Probably you've heard of him, all of you who are watching. No, not Merlin. I'm talking about a real identifiable person in history, because I do believe the Arthur myths um, are based upon no. Oh well, okay, yes, the one that fought Julius Caesar. You've got that right. I'm going to call you Ace. I liked it better than Anorak. Um, okay, Ace. Yep, you got it. Vercingetorix, and yes, trying to spell him out. No, Bonnie Prince Charlie. No, he's Scottish. Brian Boru, he's sort of Irish. I'm talking because he basically unified much of Gaul in a anti um, Roman viewpoint, and that was only he was a very charismatic leader. I gather he was only really able to do that is because of Roman pressure on them. The Celtic culture is not set up for organizing large organizations. It just isn't. And so the Irish or the now see the Scots are if you look and and they're actually setting up to one of these islands to make uh, Scots Gaelic to be the main language in the schools finally, but really modern day even Highlands is a an Anglo-Celtic culture. It is mixed heavily, and Ireland, whether they want to admit it or not, modern Ireland is an Anglo-Irish. I'm not just talking about the Anglo-Irish there. I'm talking about the whole thing because they all speak English. They may also a bunch of them still speak, Irish Gaelic, but they all speak English. So they're a an Anglo-Irish or an Anglo-Celtic culture now. They have that stamp of Anglo-ism on them that they'll never shake. And I don't think they really want to. I mean, they don't want to be ruled by. I'm not saying they want to be ruled by London. I'm saying they're never going to, give up speaking English and just go back to the Irish, and their main foreign language will be French or something else. No, it's not set up for engineering in that sense too. The Germans weren't set up for engineering until they really encountered Rome, and now modern day Germans are over engineering. They're overcompensating for it. So this is a cultural. This has nothing to do with their skin color or their hair color or their eye color or their genetics. Or whatever. And so even without alcohol or whiskey or whatever, the Celtic cultures and the Gaelic cultures, if you want to, Gaul, and because they made it down, Galatia, down here, and then the Gauls in Iberia. Yeah, they spread. They had a big cultural area that maybe not as big as the greatest extent of the Roman Empire, but it definitely included parts of what is sort of at least modern day Germany, definitely the Low Countries, through Austria, Hungary, this Serbia type area, northern Greece. That was very much Gaelic, Gallic, Celtic, whatever you want to call it. Cisalpine Gauls this side of the Alpine, Transalpine Gauls on the far side. So they were northern Italy. They were there, and they spread up and through all of the British Isles. So, and they spread into here, and so they were a huge cultural influence, but they were never an organizing power. So, I'm very much proponent of preserving, although in both preserving knowledge of the past culture, because one of the things is the Celts never had a written language. All their written languages, all their writings are sort of like, some of the early stuff is sort of a mix of mostly Latin, but maybe a bit of a Greek alphabet. So they were using foreign writings to try to do stuff that's been preserved, in this part of Gaul. I think that was, pre-Roman conquest, but they were getting, they were using outsiders' writing, so they never had an indigenous written. I mean, even the Norse had you know, an indigenous written language. The Celts did not. You can look at the, they did have some pictograms that are carved in some rocks that the pictograms probably, or at least the modern interpretation is like a particular pictogram meant a word like king or whatever. And so they did have some of that. And I do know about Ogma or Ogma. It's sort of some sort of strange, very limited use writing in Ireland, but that's sort of fairly late. So, you know, I'm very much for preserving our knowledge of the past Celtic cultures, whether way back, you know, pre-Roman influence into regions to, you know, a different periods like the Jacobite Rising, which is, of course, a thing sort of central to me. But all of that, I'm very much preserving that. Plus, I'm also for maintaining a modern Celtic culture that, whether it's your first language or your second language, and whether it's Welsh, we'll call it, say, Irish or Irish Gaelic or Scots Gaelic, because there is Scots or Broad Scots as a language, and I've only met one person that spoke in my time in Scotland that spoke Broad Scots. She understood English, but she did not speak English. Now, she remembered this. I know she's long since passed, but she remembered as a little girl, you know, as a very young girl, World War I. And so, you know, she listened to the BBC radio. I don't think she had a television when I met her, you know, as an old woman. But, you know, so she definitely knew English, and she had a very tough time understanding me with my American accent. So I've only met one person that actually spoke, and it's a language that, again, should be preserved. I don't know if it's going to ever be a commonly spoken language, but there is that Scots language. It's different than English. But, you know, Scottish Gaelic or Manx or, you know, Breton down here, very much for preserving that culture. Now, that culture is going to be influenced, well, by Hollywood, by American music, by, you know, Japanese music or food or ways of doing things, you know. So it's going to, you know, it's exposed to the modern world. I don't want to see, as much as I'm like a proponent of Westernism, I don't want to see a single planetary homogenous culture. I don't want to see that. And I want to see a sort of modern, and it can be different versions, and it can be, again, like James is saying, Irish in Canada. There's also lots of Scots that got transplanted to Canada in places like New Zealand, in actually, you know, whole clans sort of uprooted and transplanted into these different areas. And so they have, you know, the sort of colonial experience added on to the Cornish. Yeah. Well, as a practical thing, I think as a sort of, and I may be wrong about this, it's a dead issue there, IKB. I remember here, you know, and this is back in the 90s, casually traveling in northern Wales, hearing people speak Welsh to each other, just as I'm sort of walking by or whatnot, so that there were people commonly speaking Welsh. I knew a person living here in California who grew up on, I think it was Lewis. No, Lewis is up here. Yeah, Lewis, or one of the outer Hebrides, that grew up speaking Gaelic, and one of his sort of little side gigs was give people Gaelic lessons. But yeah, he obviously spoke with a modern Highland English accent, you know, or, you know, when he spoke English, but he natively spoke Gaelic as well. So I've met other people that natively spoke Gaelic in Scotland. I've never been to Ireland, but I do know that there are natural native speakers there, and not like, I learned a little bit in books and I can say a phrase or two, but I mean actually natively speak it. And I do think there's a native speaking Britain. I don't know if Manx, if there's really a your grandmother spoke Gaelic. Very good. She was a Scots Irish, yes. And so I am I really, and I've never been actually been out to Cornwall, but from everything I get from like the media I consumed when I was in Britain, there really wasn't. I know it's more than just Cornwall out here. It's this sort of that, yeah, you know, I'm not really for a Celtic Union, but a Celtic Confederation. Cool idea, which of course modern Scotland is against, because modern Scotland wants to be part of the EU and import lots and lots of people from all over the EU and maybe all over the world, which is going to destroy Scottish culture or change it radically. But yeah, they still, yeah, and Cape Breton and places like that, I do know that it's still spoken out there a bit, James, in Canada. And so there, I want to preserve, not freeze it in time, as you can tell. I mean, I want to like record, um, uh, you know, you know, you know, in Brittany or Breton in or Nova Scotian, if we will. I'm trying to think of the right terms for it. A Nova Scotian Gaelic, if that's any different, because that may preserve. Because I do know that there's some places in America that are sort of isolated that actually preserve some old colonial Americanisms and pronunciations better than anything preserved in Britain, because we don't have the access to the map. But some of the the islands that are off the American coast, coastal islands that are really small, isolated communities. And before too much modern television, modern whatever came in there, they recorded the people speaking enough, and they think that it's, maybe not like Elizabethan England, but somewhere between Elizabethan English and 18th century English, somewhere sort of, in that, more like 17th century English, that words and pronunciations and word usage that was preserved there in America more than it was preserved in a spoken way as opposed to the written way anywhere in Britain. So I want recordings and all that to be preserved so that for historical purposes. But that's where, okay, you're from out there in Nova Scotia, cool. And so I want all that to be preserved, but I also wanted to interact with the modern world, which will modify it and change it, and I'm happy for that. But I still don't want it to be homogenized into, whether greater American English and cultural viewpoint stuff, or in, because it's Ireland, greater sort of European English and whatever. So I want them to still be around as something, and it is, as you can tell, because I sort of interrupt this thing, something that is close to my heart. But I'm a realist, both in that I like living history and like living history centers, that set up and would preserve at different time frames Irish villages, whether try to recreate whether we're going to call it Iron Age or not necessarily pre-Roman, because Rome, they sent maybe some troops out to Ireland briefly, but sort of that sort of early Irish type living styles. And then what was it like in the 18th century and times in between, and have little cultural villages and things that are living history. But those are for combination of research and tourism and other sort of things. Those aren't for everyday people. I don't want everyone to go back and, live in, pre-electricity days or anything like that as their normal, living habits. But I do want to have all of those things preserved in a living way, not just in videos and, books and photos. I want them to be a small living history thing. But then I want to see, I'm no way I'm anti-Irish. I'm rather anti-Irish Republican Army, the IRA. You could tell little brief things back when they were still bombing places that I was sort of in and around. Not when a bomb went off, yeah. But I'm rather anti-IRA, and I know some Irish wouldn't like that, but I'm not anti-Irish at all. And I'm for a general sort of federal system for the British Isles in total, but a federal system, not a centralized system that's all in London. Something that diplomatically, to the outside world, this would all be one diplomatic, set of ambassadors, and if one of the nations go to war, they all go to war, whatever like that. But internally sort of, devolved power, which we sort of have in Scotland right now. I would be for that. And I know the recent history that the Irish won't go for that. Understand why they won't go for that, but that doesn't mean I'm not for it. Okay, I want to read up some of the stuff here. Always wondering about the Basque. Many think that they are a Celtic tribe, but they're the Basque are not Celts as far as I understand it, and they're a very old people that definitely the Celts sort of moved in and around them, but they are different to everything that I know about the Basque. Most Irish cities were founded by Vikings. Well, many Irish cities were, yes. Let's see, reading. Okay, Scots is a broad, though distinct dialect of English. Well, no, you're wrong there, Ace. There's not a dialect of English. Scots predates English, so it can't be a dialect of English. It is a derivation of Anglo-Saxon, so it's pre-English. So it splits, to the best of my knowledge. I'm not the greatest expert, so someone can prove me wrong if you pull out a book's expert on it, not just a generic book, that might try to explain it as a dialect of English. But Broad Scots goes back to the Anglo-Saxon language, because when I hear Anglo-Saxon, it's just sort of just outside of my grasp of understanding. It all sounds familiar when you hear somebody speaking Anglo-Saxon. And to my understanding, Scots, although for a time in Scotland was ruled by the Normans, because the Norman conquest did briefly get up there, and you have, Robert the Bruce fighting. Well, Bruce is sort of an Anglo-Norman family to a degree, but you do have Normanism there, but you don't have the mix of French words, the difference between venison and deer. You don't have the venison part in Scots, as far as I know. And so it's sort of the development of Anglo-Saxon that for a long time, parallels the development in England, but really splits off, where you have the infusion of French words and elements into English. This is again as far as I understand. So, yeah, no, and yeah, like I say, I met one old woman who was of the World War I child generation who actually spoke Scots as a native tongue, and that was in the border, sort of the border regions down here, but very rurally she lived. Mother Irish, father was born in England, my dad was an RAF. He couldn't go home for years due to his family members in the IRA. Yeah, I can imagine that. Well, I think the closest, one time I was in London on the Underground, and they stopped the train on, to an IRA action. They stopped the train and said, well, the next station, and it was a major train station, has been or is being evacuated because of an IRA bomb threat. And you have the choice of, you can get off here, or we're going to drive through the station, but we're not stopping to the next point on the, the Underground in London. So make up your mind. And I had to quickly pull out my map to try to figure out where I was going, because that was the station I was planning on getting off at. So that's as close, and I'm pretty sure there was a bomb planted, but it was during the period in which they were sort of planting the bombs, calling them in, just to have the bomb squad come in and remove the bombs, just as not actually trying to kill people, but just trying to cause upset in that. That's as close as I was to an IRA bomb, obviously. So I was never in any danger or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but I was around in Britain during that time period. And like when I was at the Edinburgh Military Tattoo, because it was a military event, they had the whole look for bombs. We have people watching for bombing things, blah 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 blah. So that they were, concerned about, because, even though it's mainly a tourist thing, the IRA might bomb it. So now, like, there was no attempt to or anything at the, tattoo that event that I was at. But I mean, so I was around in Britain at times when the IRA was still a, real threat to people. And again, just inconvenience being traveling around is all. I've been by the IRA. I've known nobody who has been harmed by them just because of my associations, but it's just that kind of thing. So I am not a fan of the IRA. I'm not anti-Irish at all. That's a Lowland Scots is the language of Robbie Burns. It's a dialect of English, honestly. If you speak English, you can understand Scots. Nope, I know the difference, trust me, between Gaelic. I had another friend in Scotland who, I don't think he really spoke any Gaelic, but he was a Highland Scots, and man, his accent was very different than Lowland Scots. And I could follow him pretty well when I was in person, but when I was talking to him on the phone, I had to have him repeat things a lot. No, we have the Irish over here trying to take one of my castles. But no, I'm talking about Old Broad Scots. And sure, it's influenced by a lot of English, but it splits off before and it's an Anglo-Saxon language, most assuredly, and so the two Anglo-Saxon languages that developed into English and Scots, and it was going very much its own way until the Union of Crowns, and then of course the later Union, the actual Union. So now most people in Scotland speak English with a Scottish accent, and a few words like ken, K-E-N, for no, and other things, as no as in K-N-O-W. And so you can see like that word is the Scots kept the hard K, where the English drops the hard K on the word, and so that you get that split there of that, and they're both from the Anglo-Saxon, and so that's why I'm saying it's not a dialect of English. I'm saying English is different than the Anglish, as in A. Okay, let's beat him up with a shillelagh. So so it's because I have looked into some of this in years past, and how it diverted from it, and how it is. And this, I'm getting some of the stuff from proponents of the old Scots language, and they may be overstating that it was not a dialect of English, but its own thing that shares a common root language. That's I guess the point is English and Scots share a common root language, but they're split off before English is there. One of the ladies that I worked with was almost blown up by an RA bomb and Woolworths bomb, I believe. And Yeah, I don't know that I can say that I really know anybody who was like almost blown up by anything that close. That I'm saying that I personally know or met, not that I've heard of, or I've lots of people that had I've heard of people that served in the British Army or whatever in Ireland, of course, and I've heard of people like that, but as in um, you know being around some of these people. So okay, Nigaro, very good having you here. So yeah, so I guess we're going to well, let's continue this by first doing a peace settlement here. Let's sue for peace. Let's see if we can get a bunch of money from them, help fill up our coffers, and let's take Cork. There we go. And accepted our generous peace offer. And here, I know they're besieging our city, but hopefully we can still sue for peace and take basically everything. Get our hands on. Yeah. Okay. The army go, oh, they become rebels. Okay. Now we're going to keep Kings County because we want to continue to get claims in other areas, but we're going to, let's manage our vassals. Tyrone, we're going to grant provinces. There we go. Sligo. And Cork. Let's see, can we give them Cork as well? I know, no, we can't. Okay. So we can't give them Cork. I want to keep this Kings County because I want to continue to sort of branch out and make other claims deeper in. So yeah, that's good. Now let's move you to here. But we're going to end, not the live stream, so everyone here just hang out. But we're going to end the YouTube video. So I want to thank everyone who's watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And of course, I love hearing from you, whether you want to talk about our debate on the Scots language or tips on how to play this better. I'd love to hear from you. See you next time for more historical gaming. Okay, let's just save this. We're going to keep playing. Don't worry, guys. But I want to save. I think we'll do that too. Scots isn't that different from standard English. It's all the same. It has all the same influence. Okay, well, I may be wrong, but I don't think so. But at least that's what I got from reading way back in the day, Ace. Okay, because it just isn't that different. Well, I don't know if you've ever heard it, because I remember talking to this lady. Man, it's much different than everybody. Because for those of you who haven't been around, I lived in Edinburgh for just under 6 months many years ago. So I've lived in Scotland and spent a lot of time traveling around it and studying things. So I've been, say to, Scotland, England, Britain, whatever, probably about 10 times or more in my life. Now, often just for, a week or two, on a holiday type trip. Mostly it's, things like that. But so I have been around it a bit. Okay, so I think we're ready to start another episode. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Europa Universalis 4. Okay, we have troops. You come up here. Hope these guys are... Oh, they actually took the city before I got there. I'm going to wait for them to leave. Hopefully they'll leave and then we'll defeat them somewhere else. He's a good general, yeah. He's maybe my best general. Come on, go somewhere else, rebels. Well, they look like they're holding out. Not that I go up to Cumbria. Well, we're losing fairly heavy in numbers, but they're being worn down a bit more. Okay. Yeah, I wondered whether I should get Austria as an ally. I really want to get, but I think they've come into alliance too much with France here. Okay. My grand strategy for this game is, and again, I hope enough people watch to make playing it for you to be a good thing to do. Is to sort of grow an island empire. That's sort of my grand strategy. So I would like to have Venice. Well, I'd love to maybe at some point have to grab off some of their like minor. Which in this game, it used to the old days. Well, not the knights, but some of these. Well, this is directly Venice, but this is Corfu. Here is, I guess, a vassal of them. I think they have here, but which does definitely put on some continental stuff. But I would like to get places like Sardinia, Sicily, Corsica, Crete, to get islands around here. I wouldn't even mind getting a few up in the north here. Maybe get sort of passive aggressively, meaning if somebody like Venice or Castile drags me into a mainland war, grab up a few provinces here or there as part of a peace settlement, maybe early to do that. Maybe if let's get somebody like Georgia out here as a Christian. Can't offer alliance. Can we send a gift? We don't have much money. Well, we can maybe afford a gift. Make them a little stronger. Let's get them to, maybe they'll get to a coastal port. And get sort of that, and then do that sort of in Europe, and then of course spread out a colonial worldwide empire, and James, and yeah, places like India absolutely would be good pickings, but definitely whether we call it, I don't know what it's called in this game, Sri Lanka or Ceylon, the islands there, or in things like Madagascar and the little island off Tanganyika, Zanzibar. Grab up a lot of these different islands around and try to have sort of a naval power strategy that power projects onto mainlands, things like the American continent, things like India and whatnot, and maybe some random provinces that end up getting here. But that's sort of what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a specific French conquest. I would be, if it becomes militarily untenable, I would be willing to give up Normandy and Aquitaine and even Calais to France, sort of to allow some of that other to happen. Yes, Zanzibar, yeah, thanks. Sometimes block on these names. So that is sort of my overall goal, and yes, unify all these. And sure, places, grab up some of these islands out here. And use that in sort of a big trading mercantile empire. as much as anything else. So that is sort of my goal. My goal is mostly now, well, I want to be at peace. I'm going to probably not push on any of these guys until I can get some of this manpower up. Oh, mentioning that, what are we doing? Do we have a, oh, okay, well, we have a general. We're looking for a general, that's right. How are we doing for our seats? Okay, I guess we have enough. I don't know. Don't know if I want to spend the money on a naval doctrine. Okay, so here we are, 9. Oh, let's mothball our... Well, I remember. You can always remind me to mothball the castles. Get more money that way. But sort of a slow and steady growth. That's sort of my goal. And try to, shall we, whether... Sometimes I've gone, I'm not sure which way I'm going to go at this point. Try to stay... Catholic or go, you know, Protestant. Probably go Protestant, but willing to take advice on that. But try to Anglify a lot of the places, both in Europe and other places. Okay, diplomatic insult. Okay, are they really trying to get me to go to war with them? You know I don't have any extra manpower. We have an advisor slot free. Okay. Missionary strength. I don't care about missionaries. Prestige. Production efficiency probably be nice, but I don't think I want to spend that money. I know we only have a little bit right now where tax is being hit by one of the events. I forget which one it was. Maybe it says root out corruption, advisor maintenance. No, that wouldn't be it. Maybe it's root out corruption. I don't know. But we'll yearly prestige because we are really low on prestige, so we'll grab that. So sort of the long game. Do we have to hit that again to get the fort? No, it's here. Yeah. Okay, clergy. Advancement of the clergy. The power of the clergy is never relied on the state itself, but rather many ways. Yes, influence. Of course, I presume that if by going through the Protestant Reformation you can do Henry's, you know, grabbing up all of the monasteries' lands and whatnot, causes expiring, causes belli. I'm gonna let this go. I don't want to go into another war without some sort of positive manpower situation. I don't want to keep doing that. Lollards really hit me hard. I've not been able to recover since then. I should, at this rate, it looks like it'd take me about 4 years or something to get all the manpower back. I'm reading this right. Yeah, we have the Peasants' War coming up. Fortunately, we do have an heir currently who's better than our current one. Monetary reforms, enact them. Oh, bloody hell. Lose inflation, gain inflation. I really don't want to go down in stability. What is our current? Again, I'm still learning where to click on these things. Oh, over here, that's right. Okay, we could boost it. We have that, though it puts into our gain here. I don't know, would inflation be 3% or 3 inflation be much of a hit now? I'd love your advice. I think I'd rather do that, but I don't know, maybe inflation would be. What would chat do? What would chat do? Get the inflation or lose the stability? What is our current inflation rate? Debase currency, take loan. That'd be 75 to. It'd be cheaper than reduce. Go for more money. Okay. Well. Well, this looks like, because here that would be a 3% inflation, and it would be more of this to do prop up that thing. So actually, this would probably be the better way to do this. So sort of, well. Okay, we'll do that. I'll follow James' advice since he's the only one that commented, so then we'll push back on that to get back to where we once were. Yeah. Do we have enough to do that? Yeah. Okay, that should get rid of that peasants' war coming. Okay. Expensive on administrative power, but it keeps us from having another war because we don't have the. Yep, we need more troops. We need 7,807 more troops to get broken even to our previous army levels. Okay, we can invest in a new technology. Okay, the marketplace. Very good. Been waiting for this. Diplomatic, yep. Cost a lot, but let's go for it. Now, we can now build marketplaces, and London looks like it would be our biggest, best trading center. We'll go with that. And as part of this overall strategy that I was talking about, I want to heavily build up our nation with things like markets and courts and whatnot. They're allied with Switzerland. Oh boy. Okay, Henry is now a bold fighter. Very good. Yes, trade and econ. That's what I want to build up. Okay, we can increase the time scale maybe a bit. Okay, question of rights. Good, we're paused. Subject of our subjects of ours currently hold lands to which we have claim. If we were to claim this province for ourselves, they would undoubtedly regard us with contempt and distrust. On the other hand, they would be in no position to stop us from taking control of the area if we wish to do so. Okay. Question of rights. No, I renounce claim now. Yeah, we're going to renounce the claim. Okay, we're not trying to get that at the moment. We're trying to expand there. We're not trying to conquer Tyrone right now. Denmark's here? That could be a problem. But we're going to let that problem for another day. Is our market completed? Yes, our market is completed. Very good. Now we're trying the strategy of at least most of Ireland get it into our vassal, and then at some point absorb our vassal once we're sort of using them as a cat's paw to take Ireland piecemeal. Local fortifications expert discovered. Okay, gain skill, defense, military engineer. Let him stay home. Local defensiveness. Roman heritage following the Catholic faith. Okay, let's come. What you can enact government reforms. Hold on just a second before we do that. Let's come to okay, here I think this is where fort defense. Yes, he's not super cheap, but that would be good, I think. 39, not too old. Yeah, that way when we go to war we'll have that better off, I think. Now, what was oh, here. Government reforms. Okay, well, curtail normal privilege is normally what I want to do to get money, but because I'm looking to get more manpower, we're going to go with strengthen noble privilege. I think I want to build it up a big cushion again, not just get it to be something a little positive. So let's go that route. Let's give these guys some money. Maybe if they can pay off. Oh well. I don't know, maybe we can get them to pay off. The Danes? I don't need another Dane law. Okay, looks like maybe they did. We do not need another Dane law. They currently, let's see, diplomacy, like me a little bit. Let's give them a little bit of money too. Let's just send a small gift since we parted with a bunch. Okay, Castile, you have fairly good opinion of us. Okay. Okay, lack of demand for draperies. This is regrettable. Okay, don't know why you'd have a lack of demand. Cold buildings, you should want lots of draperies. Okay, finally now in a positive manpower. But we need to get it. I want it over 10,000 or more before I really consider doing much. What diplomatically? Okay, they have. Well, Scotland's trying. They got an alliance with these guys. They have an alliance with these guys. Or, yeah. Okay, education for the poor. Okay, religious local philanthropist has begun to create schools for poor children in Cornwall. The ambition is to bring literacy to the poor and educate them in the way of the Catholic faith. Of course, there are those who would argue that this is not an activity without risk. Okay, gain innovativeness, clergy influence. Local unrest. Okay, local development costs. We'll let this happen. Yeah, unrest maybe a bit higher down here now. No, not really. Okay, a queen concert for the people. It's become clear that the queen concert is a woman. Do we the heart of gold? National unrest -2 gains. We'll go with the reduction of unrest. The thing I dislike the most is the administrative power cost. Okay. Clergy political struggle. Time has come for the clergy to appoint a new leader to assist our king in the capital. Likely candidate is an old cleric. Oh, pause. Old cleric with a solid history as a prominent member of the clergy behind him. He has, however, also acquired many enemies during his life, whom now hope to see a somewhat younger candidate with less ugly past be appointed as king. It will be us. Okay, let's see. Courage gains more influence. Support the younger candidate. Lose prestige, money, gain estate. loses, gains influence. Don't trust him though. That's sort of my feeling. Again, the money isn't the real issue. I'm more worried about this lack of prestige, but I guess we'll go with that. Yeah. That's sort of what Henry said. The Iron Church. I'll just have one of my own. Okay, we're about at 6,000. So what we're going to come here is, let's build a spy network here. Okay, well, we're not quite 10 on all these on it. We're trying to get Renaissance. Don't know if I'm doing all this right. Austria has embraced the Renaissance. I want to embrace the Renaissance. Okay, well, they've declared war on Provence. I don't think there's anything of Provence left. Okay. Who are they allied with? Provence, but looks like Provence. Austria, Aragon. Flanders. Unhappiness among the clergy. Ignore their demands. Gain papal influence, lose prestige. We're gonna lose the papal influence. I don't care enough about that at the moment, at least, because I guess we have 70 or 57. We can lose 10 loyalty and still have near 50, not quite %, but we'll gain prestige back. So that will be better. Okay, let's slow this down. Yeah, a bit there like that. And let's, yeah. Stop building network, yes, confirm. Fabricate claims on. We'll go with Armand. We're going to declare war. They'll get their Leicester allies. We'll get our Tehran. I don't want, even if they want to come in, I don't really want. Oh, well, let's march for here. Are they now involved? Yes. Before they can combine, hopefully get both of them in battle. separate so they're not too strong. We'll kill their armies off, or at least most all of them. Okay, we've got that. Let's come down. Take this army out. And go up and help our Irish allies. Yes, I should learn how to speak. Always helps when you have a job that requires speaking. And we'll move our fleet off there. Okay, your corruption is growing. Yeah, we'll solve some of that shortly. No debate in Parliament. Start debate. Okay. Gain stability. Okay. Manpower recovery speed. War exhaustions. Okay, that would be a good one. Culture conversion. Don't need that. Iron land maintenance. That would be nice too. But the stability thing would be good. Okay. Well, all we need to do is get one more. No, we don't want to get rid of the military. Legitimacy down too. Bribe an MP. Yeah, we'll afford the 16 ducats. Okay. Let's speed this up a bit because now I don't think there's much. Way of action going. Okay, well, let's look at another marketplace. I don't know how much I should build up continental places, so well, pretty big jump. Oh yeah, we'll put the market in Aquitaine. Which one is this? Is Aquitaine is down here. Okay, so we're building a market. Maybe the French will like us better when they take it over and find that they have a market there as well. Yeah, we may do some. I definitely would like to grab off things like Cyprus, Rhodes, Crete for sure. I don't know how much of the Holy Lands I want to do. I'm not saying it's off the table by any means. And you know, oh, the island off of here, boy. I want to say Aden, but that's here. Socotra. You know, if that's a province to grab, I know it's not a very powerful one, but just for basing and other places. I don't know, is Dewey in this game? Okay. Don't know any of you who know what, and I may be mispronouncing it, Dewey is. Okay, yeah, they got. You come over here. No, you come to here. I'm trying to blockade. Here, hopefully pursue this a little faster. Yeah. Just do it. Sometimes I'm not going to listen to chat just because they want to see a car crash. Yeah, let's go deal with the Irish Sea here. No, decline. I know they're showing a cannon, but I want cannons right now. Technology influenza. Okay. Timely event with the real world. Okay. Yeah, let's quarantine them. Chat's always bloodthirsty. Just do it. Well, like I say, someday maybe, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I think we may have to become more proper England with George's cross instead of the royal symbol type before we start really doing that stuff. Am I playing for you? Well, yeah, but I'm not just playing for you, James. Meaning, if I do something stupid and end the series in 1 or 2 episodes, that doesn't create a good series. You know, that kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe my play style won't be favored by, oh, pause. By viewers, I do have that in mind. Because like we talked before, I want to build an empire. I don't want to just do a bunch of conquering battles. And whether I mean build an empire, not just like paint the map red by conquest in a Genghis Khan kind of approach, but I actually want to build the empire and assimilate it and organize it, and that may not be what everybody wants to watch, so because that might just be a bit slow and long term and developmental, and they just want to see battle, victory, defeat, how's it going to turn out. I do get that as a thing. Okay, so now we've got all of this likely. Yes, okay. Okay, so we have that. Very nice. Okay, let's see here. We're going to give, we're going to manage. Yes, we're getting at corruption is growing because we're growing fast. So we're going to come here and we're going to give them, can we give them Limerick? Yes, we can give them Limerick. And we can grant them Leicester. Okay, and I think we grant them Ormond. We're going to keep Cork because we want to be able to, oh, and maybe we shouldn't have given that. We want to get that too. That may have been a mistake. May have been a mistake giving him that. But since we're here, let's give them okay. Okay, we've lost that. Now, here, well, we want to build this up, but I don't know if we'll be able to fabricate a claim or not. There. Subjects. What are we doing here? I don't know. No focus. Is there a way to have them? Have them enable a claim against Connacht? What is Connacht's? Oh, they're an ally of Scotland. They're an ally. No, they're not an ally. Oh, they're royal marriage, so we might still be able to grab them up. And they're not. Okay. So let's go after Kildare. We'll build spy network. We did stop our other spy networks, right? Yeah. Thanks, James. Okay. Our heir Mary is greedy now. Tax modifier minus 10%. Well, I don't like that. Burgundy has declared war on Liege. Visit from some shady people. A few slightly shady-looking characters have appeared at our court, offering their services to our king. They claim willing to be able to do things that any proper ruler would never deign to do publicly. Okay. Okay, shady people. Spy network construction plus 20%. I don't know that we need that. No, I think we will just gain the prestige because we'll probably have to spend it on something caving to some group of people in the near future. Oh, yes, just you forgot to tell me to mothball my castles. We want to grow gold, lots of gold. Never fight shitty people. Yeah, that's good. Always meet them at a hotel. New technology, Pike Square. Okay, yeah, I think we got enough. We could do this. Yeah, let's go for this. Like, we're building a park. Very nice. Well, it looks so far that Venice is maintaining its territory. They still won't ally with us, probably. And but Byzantium is gone. Oh, you don't need to be sitting out at sea. Okay, let's see now here. Stop building that. Now let's cancel. Yeah. Let's fabricate a claim there. And then let's declare war. War, bloody war. That will allow us to come up and take Connacht. Oh, we've lost our rival. Have we now? Boy, I'm still like looking for where things like that shield is. There it is. Okay. But we can't do one while we're at war. Okay. See, they got a little bit of our Irish allies territory. Let's move this fleet out here. Cut them off. I think that will help our sieging. It's at negative 42 and that went away. Okay, now it's negative 28. Okay. Yes, you can go deal with your enemies in your territory if you wish. I'll even give you a little bit of money to do that. Diplomacy. Send a guest. Well, just 25. That'll probably at least help in raising a unit or two if needed. Oh, they're doing the old march across. Oh, they went up to Scotland, did they? Yeah, let's move these guys to here and see if we can keep them trapped. On Ireland. How's your fleet doing? I don't. Fleet's doing okay. We've got this one here of 6 heavy ships. They're early carracks, and then a bunch of transports, and then we have our lighter fleet out here guarding trade. That's generating us a little bit of cash, but they're doing all right as well. Okay, rebel uprising. Oh boy, not what I wanted right now. Let's spend, and we're going to boost this by 1. Maybe that will reduce the Lollard uprising likelihood. Probably not, maybe, but oh well. Okay, desires of the flesh. While we have successfully managed to keep the truth from the rest of the court, it is only a question of time until it gets out, unless we do something. He recently discovered that his wife, Queen Louise, is having an affair. Not only that, but the other guilty culprit is none other than Isaac of Bedford. We trust we put in him, which is he was one of our okay, yearly prestige. Wow. Okay. Let's give him money. Local unrest is a bit more I want to do. I think we will lose the money. I think we'll take the local or unrest improvement. Okay, we got that siege. New technology. Okay, so trade efficiency up by 2%, trade range 20, and naval maintenance cost up by 10%. Yeah, okay, Sussex is revolted. I was figuring that was coming. No, no, don't go across Ireland or Scotland. Okay, that's good. That's what we've been waiting for here. Let's grab what money we can. Not that we're that poor, but money's useful. And here, diplomacy again. Sue for peace. Money's useful. Okay, yes. Now what we need to do is manage our subjects, and we'll give Tyrone Kildare, and we'll give them Connaught. Oh, see you later, IKB. Have a good evening. Okay, will you start marching to London, defend London? Oh, we need to do another rival. Okay, rival. Not Castile, not Scotland. We'll go with the Ottomans. They're way off out there. Yeah, That very well might be. Oh, lovely! They're killing my army. Well, since we don't have any manpower, let's hire some mercenaries. Because I think we're going to need that to deal with these. Thought we'd do a little better maybe at our capital if it was defended. Can you tell him to run away? Yeah, good, because I didn't want to get the leader killed. Okay, all of you guys to here. Royal Army, okay, you come to London. Okay, we got that. Let's go back and reclaim our province. Okay, and let's create a new unit. It'll just be easier, I think. Put the mercenaries over there. Okay, select this unit and disband unit. There we go. There we go. Well, now if we can just go for time without any. Oh, and we need to reduce our cost in fort maintenance. Again, there we go. Oh good, we got rid of that one ill effect. That was, I think, the 15% on our tax income. That's helping us a lot by getting rid of that. Okay, so yeah, we have replenished. Okay, well, lost our military engineer. Hey, thanks. Okay. Discipline's nice. Yeah, let's go with that. No, we're not going to do any condottieri right now. Well, I'm a little surprised we've been able to keep our mainland provinces. That's nice. Oh, they've actually expanded, it looks like, in here. Still like to get them as an ally, but I figure it's probably not likely to happen so long as they're allied with France. Okay, support the war effort, victory good, stability plus. Okay, so we've got that. Manpower recovery speed, great. That is a bit of a triumph. National decisions available, yeah. Nothing we can really do with that. Don't know that we want to do that. Well, I think we're going to end this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you want to catch some of this live over on Twitch, you can follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. And of course, I really love hearing your comments, questions, suggestions, tips especially. Please post them below. Thanks so much. See you next time for more historical gaming. Okay, let's save this. And there's a helicopter going over. Yeah, I think that's a helicopter. Well, it's only been about 3 hours, but I think I'm going to take a break here and end the stream. I do want to thank all of you viewing on both YouTube and Twitch. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if there's anybody out there on Mixer, though I am streaming to that. Don't know if Mixer is much of a strategy game place, but so we'll be putting out some more stuff. Tomorrow, I don't know whether I'll be doing War Thunder or maybe Heroes and Generals, if any of you want to come and join me tomorrow. Thanks, Arno. That's a real possibility, and not really going to say exactly what, but later in the week, late in the week, I'll be streaming some stuff for Slytherin. The official announcement of just what's happening will be coming later in the week, but I'll probably put up a video on my channel for that. And of course, next week we'll see whether we continue this or not. I would like to, so been having fun. Thanks everyone. See you next time.